The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TV1 News. I'm Carol Kidu Jr.
And I'm Maricela Kelaton. Join me later in the sports segment.
In this edition, university students warned 4 million kina to be paid to retirees and islanders calling for intervention. University students who perpetrate strikes, demonstrations and protests at universities leading to the destruction of properties will be treated as criminals and face the full brunt of the law. Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology Don Pollier revealed this in Parliament today.
Minister Pollier was responding to questions by the member for Esala, Jimmy Maladina, who was concerned about the welfare of Esala students attending the University of Natural Resources and Environment in East New Britain Province.
What action are you taking to make sure that those unrest don't take place again? And in the unrest, there was a number of action by the students who are perpetrators of that, promoting that unrest. They have burnt a lot of vehicles, damaged properties in the school, at the university. What action are you going to take against those perpetrators so those actions are not repeated again at the school?
Minister Pollier, in acknowledging Maladina's questions, said there were established grievance management processes in place at all universities and are clearly outlined in the University Acts. These processes should be exhausted first before resorting to demonstrations and protests.
If a student body like SRC would like to address an issue, the first place they go to is the student services at the university. If the student services of the university doesn't address the issue properly or adequately, then they take it further up to the vice chancellor or the president of the university. If they're not satisfied, then it goes to the chancellor or the chairperson of the board of the council. So there is an established governance processes in place for students and staff to address issues at the university.
He warned students that violence was uncivilized and will not be tolerated.
But quickly resorting to violence, quickly running to the media, quickly trying to mobilize protests and so forth, that is uncivilized. That's backward. Can't accept this. I advise everyone to encourage your students to go back to classes. While those ringleaders who are perpetrating crime, they must be treated as criminals. That is going to be the position throughout all universities. Thank you, Mr.
He said the government is embarking on restoring quality in academic and technical skills programs as per the National Quality Framework. And to achieve this, students must be disciplined, of good character and matured. These, he says, are important ingredients that will contribute to quality learning. Meantime, Pollier has also urged students not to stage unnecessary protests and make a demand for the minister to come down and address them. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
The goods and services tax and anti-money laundering laws are being seen as red tapes, contributing to the obstruction of SMEs' growth in the country. Concerns were raised on double taxing on SMEs and the lengthy period of time taken to clear government checks at the commercial banks.
Member for Abao, Dr. Puka Tamu, during question time in Parliament, called on the Treasurer, Ian Links-Taki, to look at the GST laws that are not being friendly to the SME sector.
One is when the District Treasury raises a check, there is a 10% GST discount immediately. Immediately, the discount is automatic. And when the SME gets his check and goes to a service provider, they also charge them another 10% GST. So in our efforts to help and promote SMEs, could the Honorable Treasurer advise the Honorable House, where is this coming from?
He further called for a review of the Anti-Money Laundering and Proceeds of Crime Act 2005, which he says are outdated following an amendment to this act, which was done in 2015.
And I strongly recommend the Treasurer, if he can sit down with the central bank and review it, because it will help everybody in the name of service delivery and in the name of our government supporting SME. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Treasurer in response said GST collections were an important part of government revenues, accounting for 3.3 billion kina. He further said amendments made last year on tax laws directs Treasury, including that at the sub-national level, to deduct the 10% GST component on all government-issued checks. But with concerns raised of double taxing, he assured the member and SMEs to FIRC look into this.
I know that in the process there has been certain examples where there has been double collections, and if these are accurate, then obviously IRC would need to sit down with the relevant agencies and ensure that processes are put in place to make sure this doesn't happen.
With regards to the Anti-Money Laundering and Proceeds of Crime Acts, he also promised to look into it. Stuckey acknowledged that these laws were good, but also creates unwanted consequences. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Internal Security Minister Peter Siamalili Jr. presented to Parliament a statement on the functions and challenges of internal security in PNG and plans to formulate a white paper on internal security. The minister acknowledged that PNG grapples with various internal security issues that include violence, theft and drug-related offences. These threaten the safety and security of Papua New Guineans.
Minister Siamalili Jr. says the presence of organized crime groups and the illicit trade they engage in worsens the situation, undermining the efforts of authorities towards progress and development. In light of these challenges, the minister says there are 4 key areas of action that include prioritizing law enforcement, taking decisive steps to combat organized crime, prioritizing community engagement, and lastly, emphasizing regional cooperation and partnerships.
Since my appointment as the minister responsible for internal security, it has become clearer to me that internal security must be seen holistically. While RPNGC plays the lead enforcement role, their work cuts across other national security functions that are under the mandate of other government agencies. What this means is that we must look more strategically at how we can leverage our limited resources to prevent crime from taking place.
Minister Siamalili Jr. further acknowledged that addressing these internal security challenges requires a multifaceted approach, thus the need to develop an internal security white paper to assess internal security threats, develop a strategic framework to outline short and long-term goals, enhance communication between law enforcement agencies, strengthen law enforcement capabilities, allocate resources effectively, serve as a means to educate the public, and promote international cooperation and information sharing. The minister also stated that the white paper will guide the formulation of the national internal security policy. Minister Siamalili Jr. urged fellow ministers and MPs to unite in their resolve to address the issues of internal security facing Papua New Guinea. Mary Stella Kelleton, TV1 News.
A total of 70 public service retirees will be paid out from the public service on Pay 20 of 2023. The Department of Personnel Management confirmed that the retirees are from 16 government agencies will be paid out a cost of 4 million kina.
The retirement exercise has been ongoing since 2019, and the Department of Personnel Management retirement team has now validated the 70 public servants who have reached retirement age and will be paid out. Department of Personal Management Secretary Tayes Sansan said this is the first batch of retirees for this year 2023. She says retirement is a normal attrition that is undertaken by the agencies to retire their aging workforce and submit names to DPM for file checks and validation processes. Ms. Sansan says they have taken a all-of-government approach to retire public servants under the retirement exercise, and DPM in collaboration with Treasury and Finance have supported to administer the retirement exercise. She clarified that the approach taken to identify retirees is through the ALESCO payroll, and then DPM writes to the agencies to identify and confirm and submit names of those who have reached retirement age. The Secretary further appealed to all agencies to play their part in retiring their aging workforce to fast-track their retirement process. Meanwhile, the 16 agencies whose officers are being retired are Treasury Department, National Housing Corporation, Magisterial Services, Public Solicitor's Office, ABG, New Island Provincial Administration, Simbu Provincial Administration, Southern Islands Provincial Administration, Ella PHA, Jivaka PHA, Milan Bay PHA, Simbu PHA, WH PHA, and Western PHA. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
The interim protection order taken out against Goroka MP Aya Tambua by his wife was dismissed by the family court in Wegani yesterday. This comes following a mutual agreement between Magistrate Peter Balos and Tambua's lawyer that the case be dismissed as there was no written consent from Tambua's wife, the complainant, for the family's sexual violence unit to act onto to take out an IPO. Balos said the case is dismissed under Section 7(1)(d) of the Family Protection Act for lack of written consent. Sergeant Tenol Pakipon from FSVU represented Tambua's wife in court. Sergeant Pakipon confirmed to the court that the complainant did not give the written consent to FSVU. Meanwhile, the court recently barred media from reporting the case due to its sensitivity. You're watching TVWAN News. When we return, Cranket Islanders call for intervention and St. John restart a heart awareness.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Harem talk, young or old, a scale rice family meal with talk. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's a favorite by miles. Seni sigola, scale rice, low scale price. Seni sigola, scale rice, low scale price. But you like him?
All Mama Flame is story all same.
Me say you sing flame flower long one him. Me say me Kim Kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me save like him flower balls belong me what them kawa war na spring onion. All pikinini belong me save like him to mas pineapple donut me save walk him lo house. Me make kumu mix him what them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is kelly one time wala repela kai. Me save kissing more kai long all get a toya me tromoy one time flame flower.
You enough making more one time flame flower.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made.
Ton, hino ton.
If you can't stop thinking about the Hino range of trucks, then you better drive one today. Hino.
Ton.
Digicel TV presents the race that stops the nation, the most prestigious horse race in the world, the Melbourne Cup 2023, coming soon to Digicel TV.
Marker. Let's go. Darren and I are traveling around the world to find some new perspectives on some very old problems.
I can't believe this place exists.
Searching for healthy, sustainable living solutions for the planet.
Merge where we live with what we eat.
And all who live on it.
Woo! From Europe to the Amazon, from superfoods to eco-warriors, welcome to a culture that screams green and responsible.
It's time to get down to earth.
Without further ado, I give you the visionary artist, Magic Mike.
Why are you in London?
I'm gonna put on a show at this famous theater.
People are numb, disconnected. We're gonna wake them up with a wave of passion they've never felt before.
Magic Mike's Last Dance premieres Sunday, October 8th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Welcome back. Minister for Labour and Employment Kesi Sawang says collaboration with resource partners is essential towards government efforts to building relevant skills for the labour market in Papua New Guinea.
Governor for Southern Highlands, William Powie, in Parliament today posed questions to the Minister for Labour and Employment, Kesi Sawang, on the government's plans for building a skilled technical workforce nationally.
The country's preparation in terms of technical and skilled manpower workforce in anticipation of Papua LNG coming on board, in anticipation of Pyongyang coming on board, in anticipation of WAFI and other big projects coming on board. How is the country, through the government, preparing the skilled manpower and skilled technical people that will be required for these impact projects?
Minister Sawang responded by emphasizing the need for collaborative effort between the national government and resource sector partners to achieve the government's goal of creating 1 million jobs by 2027, as stated in the Medium-Term Development Plan 4, launched recently.
We really don't know how many skilled people are out there because we haven't conducted a labor force survey. We don't know what institutions need, what sort of skills they need. So this is something that not only the government does. We need to work in collaborative partnerships, first of all, with the resource developers, because they will tell us what skills they need.
Sawang highlights that resource projects give significant opportunity that could provide more jobs, support skills development, boost national productivity, and improve PNG's labor market. Mary Silla Kelleton, TVWAN News.
When someone collapses in a public place such as the market, in a PMV store, office and home, normally people are confused or scared and do nothing. People do not know that they are capable of saving a life when the heart stops beating if they get the right training to do so.
A team from the St. John Ambulance held a free 1-hour awareness session on how to manage an emergency heart attack or a cardiac arrest at the Digicel PNG headquarters on Tuesday, 3rd October, as part of the Restart a Heart Day campaign this year. People can help restart a heart using their hands by applying CPR or cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Restart a Heart Day is a global initiative by the European Resuscitation Council, coordinated in Australia, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, to raise awareness and educate the communities on CPR and automated external defibrillator and the importance of healthy heart. Dr. Mangu Kendino, Chief Medical Officer at St. John Ambulance, explained the Restart a Heart campaign, which falls on 16th October 2023.
The purpose of this drive is basically to empower every one of you who are not trained medical personnel to please have the courage to respond if anybody's had a cardiac arrest. There are many cardiac arrest scenarios where it's possible to restart the heart, get a cardiac activity back enough that the patient gets brought to the hospital.
Dr. Kendino emphasized that non-medical people must be empowered to have the courage to assist anybody who may be in danger of a heart attack at any time while outside of the hospital.
Many situations occur. There are accidents like drowning, for example. And in a drowning situation, there's just air in the lungs. Something has happened, sometimes spasms happen. And so without oxygen being delivered to the brain and to the heart stops.
Digital staff who attended the awareness training were given a demonstration and then were given the chance to do hands-on practice, especially using the LifePack defibrillator. How can you recognize a heart attack in a person?
There'll be chest pain in either the central part of the chest or left chest, maybe radiation down the arm, and other associated symptoms are shortness of breath, dizziness, sweating. So that's how you would recognize that someone's having possibly a heart attack.
As a responsible corporate entity, Digital PNG has purchased a number of this equipment, and learning how to use it today was a revelation and most appreciated. St. John emergency numbers are 111 or 303-1000. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
A review into the intergovernmental financing arrangement conducted by the National Economic and Fiscal Commission finds that a total of 7.8 billion kina has been distributed as function grants to sectors at the subnational level since 2009. These function grants have increased. This was made known at the opening of the final leg of the regional consultation workshop in Port Moresby on Tuesday.
The disbursement of the 7.8 billion grant was from years 2009 to 2023 to the provincial and local level governments to support the education and health sectors. The National Economic and Fiscal Commission Chief Executive Officer Patrick Painap says within a span of 14 years, since 2009, when the Intergovernmental Financial Agreement was first reformed and introduced, the function grants have increased from 135 million to 770 million kina. Painap says the growth in the allocation of funding grants has been increasing at a rate of 10% each year on average. They are anticipating a total of 1 billion kina a year as function grants to be distributed to support the key sectors. Painap says based on NEFC's assessment, the provincial fiscal capacity has significantly improved compared to 2009.
It's such increase. We don't have to look at the criteria that we allocate the funding to, because this funding is to support the sectors at the subnational level. So currently, the 5 sectors we clearly giving the support to, and we got minimum priority activities so that they are funded sufficiently. Education, health, transport, transport infrastructure, primary production, and village courts. We give it the function grant. We tell the province and LLGs, you must make sure you fund those priorities sufficiently before you look at other aspects. The other sectors, we just lump them together and we give them to the provinces, and we tell them, this is the funding, you organize the funding yourselves.
Painap said there will also be an increase in GST revenue from 700 million to an estimated 1 billion kina in the next 3 years. He added that the increased funding over the years has provided a vital lifeline for service delivery mechanism, adding that with this increased funding, it becomes the collective responsibility to ensure that these resources are not just financial injections, but catalysts for service delivery. Trace Sipa, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at 0.2730 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2655 US dollars, 0.4189 Australian dollars, 0.2463 euro and 39.24 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all closed lower except copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. This is TV1 News. We'll have news from the region when we come back. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want to talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses? Simply collect 6 SP Lager red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Hunters jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and in New Guinea Islands.
SP Lager, Bungi Mumi!
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic Kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
It's a little crazy, but not too crazy, I promise.
Dean's Dynasty premieres Friday, October 6, 11 p.m. on HBO.
Welcome back. In regional news, the COVID-19 crisis was a wake-up call for many Pacific Island countries to enhance their social security systems. According to the Asian Development Bank, its 14 Pacific developing member countries were quick to respond to the global health crisis in 2020 by declaring state of emergency, drawing up contingency plans, implementing health protocols, closing borders, and undertaking mass vaccination campaigns. Last week, delegates from 30 43 countries from the Asia-Pacific region who are developing member countries of the Asian Development Bank met in Manila over 3 days to share expertise and best practice and strengthen social protection systems in the region. A crackdown on rogue migration agents and a funding boost to Home Affairs are among new measures aimed at improving Australia's visa system. The review looked into how Australia's visa system was enabling exploitation of vulnerable temporary migrants and international students.
Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill says the findings from this review were shocking. She said it showed that there were systemic and really serious abuses of the system. This was carried out by the former Victoria Police Commissioner Christine Nixon, who said that she found abuses of sexual exploitation, human trafficking and other organised crime because of loopholes in the immigration system. Now, Claire O'Neill has blamed the former coalition government for what she describes as a deterioration in compliance. She says that Peter Dutton, the opposition leader, presided over a migration system that was used to facilitate some of the worst crimes in Australian society. She says that there was also a lack of care. We did hear from her a little bit earlier at a press conference. Here's what she had to say.
This system has been used to perpetrate some of the worst crimes known to humanity: sexual slavery and human trafficking. Delay and dysfunction and poor management of the immigration system lie at the heart of the ability of people to commit these crimes and exploit the system in the way that Christine Nixon has elaborated on. So how did this all happen in public view? It's fairly simple. It was lack of care, lack of attention and lack of basic interest in what is one of the most important things that the Australian government does. And the responsibility for a lot of these problems falls directly at Peter Dutton's feet.
Now, we've since heard from the opposition leader, Peter Dutton, who has sought to defend his track record as Home Affairs Minister. He also criticised the timing of the handing down of this review, saying that it was a distraction, and also said that Minister O'Neill's position was overstated.
OK, lots of criticism, but what action has the government now taken on this?
So there are 5 main changes that have been announced by the government today. That includes a $50 million funding boost for the Home Affairs Department, and they've committed to establishing a new division within the Home Affairs Department to boost immigration compliance and visa checks. And when it comes to fit and proper person, those character tests, you could call them, they've also been strengthened for migration agents, and Operation Inglenook, which has been used to scrutinise the system, that has now been made permanent. All of this in response to some of the findings of that review.
Defence ministers from several Asian and Pacific states are scheduled to meet in New Caledonia for 2 days during the first week of December. The high-level meeting would also see the attendance of other defence ministers, including Australia's Richard Marles. In October 2022, a previous regional meeting took place in Tonga, and it included defence ministers from the host country, but also from Australia, New Zealand, France, Chile, Fiji and Papua New Guinea. France hosting the meeting in New Caledonia was widely regarded as in line with its Indo-Pacific strategy to reaffirm its presence in the region through its 3 collectivities of New Caledonia, French Polynesia and Wallis and Futuna. In this context, New Caledonia is perceived as the hub of French presence in the Pacific. The artists of one of Australia's largest Aboriginal communities are using their creative talents to help explain why they're voting yes in the referendum. They've designed a fashion collection based on their interpretations of the Yarrabah Affirmation, the document which last year called for the referendum.
The words and imagery on these dresses are the reason Australia is going to the polls. These phrases from the 2017 Uluru Statement and the 2022 Affirmation have been chosen by Yarrabah artists to create a local fashion collection. Artist Simone Arnold is curating a unique photo shoot to promote a yes vote nationwide. Miss Arnold says Yarrabah in far north Queensland is still feeling the effects of colonisation.
Having that yes campaign push through is pushing and acknowledging not silencing our old people, but giving them a loud voice, and more importantly, you know, a pathway for our next generation.
Yurakanji woman Ashlyn Skeen is volunteering for the cause.
Originally, not going to lie, I was a bit hesitant because I was always unsure of the yes vote, but I spoke with my old people and also my mother. She put into my head how our old people did fight for our right to vote, and obviously if didn't vote yes, it'd be sort of silencing our old people.
Aboriginal leaders planned the successful 1967 referendum in Yarrabah. Now local artists want their contributions to the 2023 vote to have a similar impact.
I'm hoping the rest of Australia take from these images, you know, what the community actually wants.
The Victorian opposition is demanding new Premier Jacinta Allan front its parliamentary inquiry into the cancellation of the Commonwealth Games. It follows revelations that government hired lawyers to negotiate the cancellation of the Games weeks before it officially made the announcement.
Documents given to Parliament yesterday show that Victorian taxpayers had to fork out $1.3 million in legal fees for the government to hire lawyers to withdraw from the Commonwealth Games. Now that's on top of the $380 million Victorian taxpayers paid in compensation after a settlement was reached with those organising bodies. Now, these documents also reveal that the government hired these lawyers in June. That was 3 weeks before it actually made the announcement public on July 18 that it would be cancelling the Games. The then Premier Daniel Andrews came out on July 18 calling that snap press conference, shocking the nation really when he said that the budget blowouts were just too big and just too hard to overcome, that the Games in regional Victoria would not go ahead. Now, we asked the new Premier, Jacinta Allan, about these revelations today. She said that the government needed to seek advice from its lawyers before it made the decision. Now, even though she was actually the minister responsible for the Commonwealth Games at the time, she couldn't actually say when the government first engaged those lawyers in June. Here's what she had to say.
As the costs were materialising, and we said this at the time making the announcement, advice was sought from the public service. As you would expect, as normal, proper government decision making, when you have to make a decision, you weigh up the options. You get the advice from the public service. Often, when you're making decisions, that does include legal advice. So there was a range of advice sought from across the public service, and that included legal advice.
Bridget, what happens next?
Well, the state opposition says this is a sign of chaos for the new government. It is only new Premier Jacinta Allan's second official day at Parliament. They are calling on her to front an upper house parliamentary inquiry into the decision to cancel the Commonwealth Games, which actually begins public hearings next week. There's also a federal Senate which is looking into this, as well as the Victorian Auditor General's Office, which is looking into the decision of the government to cancel the Commonwealth Games. So it's an issue that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Back home, climate change has taken its toll on the islands of Medang province. This has prompted Ambenob Ward 1 councillor to take centre stage, calling for the appropriate government authorities to come up with mitigating mechanisms in minimising the fast deteriorating islands.
Rodney Sellan is the Council Ward 1 member for North Ambenob LLG, responsible for most of the islands surrounding Medang town. Since the effects of climate change has devastated his communities, he has contacted and invited the Provincial Disaster Office to tour around Cranget Island and see what it has done to the islanders. It was evident to see the effects the rising sea level has done. It has spoiled their water wells. It has also run into the inlands, destroying food crops, causing the islanders much distress. Rollis Doom, a villager of Cranget Island, has come forward as a mother in pain during these trying times. Mr. Sellan is now calling upon the respective authorities to come down to his level in assisting the communities affected. The islanders pointed out the fact that the island has a bit of resistance due to the deep-rooted trees along the coastline which protect them. All the big trees that usually acted as barriers for the island have now fallen to the rough sea's impacts, leaving the island vulnerable to erosion. Selan addressed the issues that his communities on Kranghet, Panitibun and Bili are facing since the extended dry period in May, coupled with the raging seas. The adverse effects have been drastic. Food is scarce, nutrition has decreased, shortage of water, diseases are on the rise, and the bigger damage caused is the eroding of the island banks. Kranghet Island is 1 meters above sea level in elevation, and from where the council is located, it is about 1 kilometer in width. During rough seas, the current hurls coral stones onto their living space. However, Selan is adamant that relocation will not be an option for them, as it is their cultural heritage and identity. He also acknowledges the fact that climate change is also an inevitable process which cannot be controlled but can be mitigated for a sustainable living on their part. Mr. Selan is concerned about the future of his communities in terms of disruption to education, welfare of mothers and children, food security, economic and business developments. He says that as a villager, he has done what can be able to do by building stone walls around the island and up to the bit of inland they have. This, however, is not enough as they erode and get broken down by the seas much easily. The Director for Disaster, Rudolf Mungali, acknowledged their efforts in trying to reduce destruction by the seas. However, he says it was a band-aid fix, as they need proper meshed wires or netting to be erected along their borderlines. As a leader, Selan is also speaking up for all the Bell villages as their issues are similar. These villages include Siar, Riwo, Malmal, Kananam up to Vidar, Yabob and Bilbil. Alice Peter, TV1 News, Medang.
Villagers and residents on the Kranghet island of Medang province are concerned about a new formation which has evidently grown since the beginning of this year. According to the islanders, a couple of years ago they noticed a reef formation just off the point of the island. It had become a regular sight for them until earlier this year, when they started to notice that the formation had grown with a huge chunk visible above water during low tide. According to the villagers, the last couple of months have seen the submerged grow even higher. Now, many people are talking about it. Is it an island forming, or is it a volcano trying to erupt from the sea? Local islanders are now calling on the appropriate authorities to contact them in order to determine this natural phenomenon and its existence. And that ends the news segment. Over to you, Mary.
Thanks, Carol. After the break, we have the Crocodile Boxing Challenge and Vanuatu makes rugby as comeback. Those stories and more after the break.
Want more data for less? Get it now with Digicel's revamped Red Club. Enjoy data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Plus rollover data, the widest coverage, fastest speeds, and best reliability. Only with Red Club. Join Digicel's exclusive Red Club today and get loads more data for less. Yes! Data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Whoa! Join today for as low as 10 kilo weekly to access discounted data bundles and get more data for less. Dial *675# or visit the My Digicel app today. The Red Club, only with Digicel.
Buy a 40-channel postpaid TV plan now for only 85 kina and get a free 30-day DTV premium plan. That's right, you get to save 100 kina. With your free 30-day DTV premium plan, you can watch NRL, Formula 1, tennis, or your favorite Filipino dramas on your phone anywhere, anytime. So what are you waiting for? Dial 1515 to speak to a TV agent to get your 40-channel postpaid TV plan today. Digicel TV. More channels, more choice, more value.
Hello, WWE Universe. This is WWE superstar Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades. I'm here to set it all on fire. Watch WWE on Digicel TV.
This is shaping up to be the best Halloween haul ever!
Yeah! Trick or treat! Oh, Reggie, it's Ricky.
Yeah, Tricky and Treaty, our favorite candy-related activities.
No, Reggie, I'm stuck.
Like where, Scoob?
Here.
Around here?
Uh-huh.
I'll try ringing the bell. We'll just use our foot as leverage.
Ooh. Ooh! Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo premieres Saturday, October 21st, 7 p.m. on HBO Family.
Let's go. Darren and I are traveling around the world to find some new perspectives on some very old problems. I can't believe this place exists. Searching for healthy, sustainable living solutions for the planet.
Merge where we live with what we eat.
And all who live on it.
Woo! From Europe to the Amazon, from superfoods to eco-warriors, welcome to a culture that screams green and responsible.
It's time to get down to earth.
Thanks for staying with us. The PNG Boxing Union will host the Kokoda Corporate Boxing Challenge on Sunday, October 8 at the boxing capital, Lamana Gold Club, Port Moresby. The annual international boxing bouts will feature fights from New South Wales in Australia and Tarawa, Kiribati.
Corporate business houses and the boxing fraternity in Port Moresby will be treated to a feast of international boxing this Sunday at the Lamana Gold Club. The Lamana Gold Club, affectionately known as the boxing capital, is again partnering with PNG Boxing Union to host this major event with support from the corporate business sector. 9 boxers from New South Wales in Australia and 2 from Kiribati will be arriving this week to take on their PNG opponents in what promises to be a showcase of some of PNG's current and emerging top boxers. PNG Boxing Union President Dr. Gideon Kendino, in a media conference today, explained that the Kokoda Corporate Boxing Challenge comes in twofold, as a build-up for Team PNG to the Pacific Games and as a major fundraiser to get the team to Australia for lead-up training.
It's also a fundraiser for our team to be able to have 3 weeks of quality ring time and competition sparring in Brisbane at the Fortitude Valley gym, where our other coach, the former 2015 Pacific Games silver winner, Rafaela, she's based down there. So we hope to raise about 65,000 kina, so that will assist in taking the team down mid-October, and then we come back the first week of November.
PNG Sports Foundation has also thrown its support behind PNG Boxing Union, allowing boxers to use its facility at the Sir John Guy Stadium for training, including the high performance. PNG CEO Albert Veritao said boxing always has high medal prospect for the country, and to support them in this way is important.
Boxers who are putting in 200% every day, so I'm really looking forward to their performance in the Pacific Games, and of course their performance in this Kokoda Challenge. I might add here that the boxing team, or the boxers that have been preparing for several months now, high performance unit thinks that our boxers are the fittest group of athletes among Team PNG. So that's a real commendation to the coaches and of course the executives of the PNG Boxing Union for putting in all the effort to ensure that they prepare the team for Pacific Games, but of course now we have the Kokoda Challenge.
The Kokoda Corporate Boxing Challenge will start with 3 local bouts at 11 a.m. on Sunday before the international bouts at 1 p.m. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Vanuatu's National Rugby League teams will be making their first international appearance after 5 years at the Pacific Games in November after community fundraising efforts helped secure both sides' spot at the competition. The teams wanted to avoid a repeat of 2019 when Vanuatu's National Olympic Committee told its 9th team they wouldn't be traveling to the Pacific Games in Apia due to financial constraints. 4 years on, door-knocking efforts combined with funding from the Vanuatu government have secured seats for the men's and women's sides on the plane to Honiara. Dave Lolo, committee CEO, said having both the men's and women's teams at the Pacific Games is a huge step for Vanuatu Rugby League. Kiwis coach Michael Maguire has named 7 potential debutants as part of a 21-man squad for the upcoming Pacific Championships. The Kiwis will open their campaign on October 21 against Samoa at Eden Park before traveling to Melbourne the following week to take on the Kangaroos at AAMI Park on October 28.
Knights duo Fa'amanu Brown and Leo Thompson have been named alongside Warime Gregg and Keanu Kinney, Griffin Naime, Matt Timoko, and Naufahu White as the new faces in the squad ahead of the first game against Samoa on October 21. With Sean Johnson ruling himself unavailable for selection, Jerome Hughes and Dylan Brown are set to partner in the halves with Joey Manu and Chance Nicole Klokstad, both options to fill in the number 1 jersey at fullback. Premiership-winning props James Fisher-Harris and Moses Leota are set to start up front as part of an impressive engine room, which includes Nelson Asofa Solomona, Joseph Tapin, Britton Nikora, and Isaiah Papali. Danny Levy, Kieran Foran, and Neil Brown are all options to fill in the hooking role, with the likes of Brandon Smith and Jeremiah Marshall King unavailable. Levy returns after last playing for New Zealand at the 2017 Rugby League World Cup, while leading points and try scorer in 2023. Jermaine Hisako is also back after last donning the black jersey during the Kiwis' 2019 tour of Great Britain. The final is scheduled for November 4 at FMG Stadium, Waitako in Hamilton. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that's all for Sport Tonight. Over to you, Carol.
Thanks, Mary. Weather for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Southern region, isolated showers and thunderstorms with areas of rain over western and Gulf provinces. Port Moresby, cloudy with few evening rain showers and drizzles. Daru Alatau and Poponeta, partly cloudy with possible evening rain showers and drizzles. Kerama, cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Momasa region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with rain areas. Ley and Vanimo, cloudy periods with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Medang and Wewak, partly cloudy with few showers. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and thunderstorms with rain areas. Lorengau, rain showers and thunderstorms. Caving and Boka, cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, partly cloudy with few showers. Highlands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain drizzles. Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabek, cloudy periods with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Ocean forecast for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea, seas slight to moderate, becoming rather rough over eastern sector, with east to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, with gusts to 25 knots over the eastern sectors, with isolated showers. Solomon Sea, seas moderate to patches rough with southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots, reaching 30 knots, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Bismarck Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots, reaching 33 knots, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Pacific Ocean, seas slight to moderate with clockwise winds of 10 to 20 knots, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Coastal waters forecast: waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daro to Kiwai Islands, Kerama, Yule Island, Hood Point, Samarai Islands to Cape Vogel and eastern and western Milne Bay Islands. Seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters with southeast winds of 15 to 25 knots. Isolated showers with areas of rain drizzles. And that ends another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.